about this.
For an instant audit on this, Charles and Jim back with us. Charles, what did you make of Disney's results?
The bottom line was pretty, they beat on the top and bottom line, but the bottom line was really significant. I guess, things weren't too bad. Theme parks held up. Movies were down, but, they hadn't really been doing that necessarily that great in movies. TV, though, still strong. ESPN still very, very strong. What an incredible franchise for them. Listen, all in all, it was a pretty good quarter, and the stock was up in the aftermarket, up a little bit here in the pre-market, and hopefully it can provide some leadership today for the overall market.
You think it can? Jim, do you think it has that type of momentum to be a factor in the broader market, not just a company-specific news item?
Well, again, I think it's a tremendous franchise, and the diversity of the company is also, I think, very telling of what's going on out there. I mean, there's the consumer, there's the advertiser, there's their content, the distribution channels, the theme park. So again, I was not disappointed and liked the performance. I guess I just was hoping for that surprise to the upside to suggest the consumer was getting more enthusiastic about some of the things going on and willing to spend. So disappointed of the lack of travel and the lack of, I guess, people showing up to the gates down at the parks. Well,
we're going to hear from Sprint NEXTEL today. That's one of the names that's reporting. Wyndham, Discovery, Marsh & McLellan, Coca-Cola Enterprises, Scripps Networks. Any names there, Charles, that you are particularly watching for?
Boy, none of those are necessarily going to be market movers. Sprint is interesting because you've got a lot of people betting that Sprint just is the odd man out. That was a horrible acquisition of NEXTEL, and you can look at that stock and see it's been all over the place. Interesting enough, there have been quite a few buy recommendations on the stock over the last several months, but by the same token, a lot of people have been going short the stock, and so that's one that sort of watches. Obviously, a big name we all know and recognize. I think the other ones aren't necessarily going to move the overall needle. They may give us some hints. Wyndham, for instance, some of the recent hotel stocks earnings have actually been surprises vis-a-vis the expectations.
Sure. So what do you think then, Jim? I mean, what really sets the tone for the market today? Is this what happened? It's what's happening overseas? Is it the fact we're going to get some retail sales tomorrow? I mean, is there anything in particular you think that investors are watching today?
I guess I'd bring up the New York Times and going to expect some disappointing numbers in terms of ad sales, which continues to suggest that industry is struggling, and while online sales is moving up, that's a far less, the margins are far lower. So net, that'll be a negative, I think, for the Times and others like it. And again, to Charles's point about Sprint, I'm in the camp that Verizon and AT&T just continue to push ahead and distance themselves from the bronze holder, that being Sprint NEXTEL.
And what is the New York Times report? Is it after the bell today, or is it tomorrow?
That I'm not sure.
7:45 this morning? Oh, I didn't know it was this morning.
I got to tell you, though, the newspaper stocks have been doing pretty good, except for Gannett. So, we'll see. But before Gannett, the newspaper stocks are surprising. Again, it's all about expectations more than anything else. So, we'll see. I would love to, even though I'm not necessarily a New York Times fan per se, I would like to see these newspaper stocks start to rebound a little bit, and like to see even an inkling of good news on advertising.
I see. It looks like it's going to be around 8:30. 8:30 this morning. All right. Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it. Also, Charles, as well. We're just going to fill you in.